Alright, another extremely loud outdoor video by Lennon. Welcome back everybody to Thoth Thursday over on my channel. Let me just say that I really enjoyed the last Thoth Thursday where I read organically from a book while chatting about it. And it really got me inspired to pick up maybe another work or something, like not Lon Milo and not the Book of Thoth, that I could kind of do, you know, the same thing with. And I picked up this book, which I really liked this book when I started my Thoth journey, because it was condensed. I mean, it's a little bitty thing, okay? And it's packed with lots of what I thought was good information. Let's just say that some of the things that they put in this book aren't what I would deem right. Like, if you're familiar with Johannes Fiebig's works, they, well, both of them, Johann Fiebig and Evelyn Berger, have done an edition of this ultimate guide to, I think, each of the 3 systems of tarot. And really trying to dive into this lately, it's making me realize that maybe I should, like, warn people that they don't really go into specifics about what the symbols are when they are actually specific symbols. It just seems like this book is full of glorified guesses. And while I guess on an abstract level that's great, but on a realistic level, I would like you to actually tell me the names of the symbols. Coming from someone that takes pride in her research work and the stuff that I present to you guys, I really take my to learn about the symbols and to learn about what Crowley and Lady Frida Harris put on the deck. Okay? So, that whole preface is saying that I did pick this book up, and each card, every single card is laid out like this. Like, it's got like the card and basic meanings, divination and things like that. But then on the other side, they breaks down the card into every single possible symbol, okay? Like, for the Queen of Wands, and I believe by the time this video goes out, I will have done a rendition of her, because I used to do that. I used to dress up as the Thoth cards that I felt drawn to, and I did the Queen of Wands recently. I don't know if it'll be on my Instagram or not, but go check it out. I always put it in my stories and then in my highlights so that it ends up somewhere where everyone can see it. So go see me dressed up as some of these Thoth cards. I love doing that. Can someone tell me why we love Palo Santo so much when this is a bitch, literally a bitch to keep lit? Like, I've got one. I don't know if I'll be able to like pick up this and show you the setup that I have. I've got this candle going, right? And that's like, it's like a tiny little speck of wax left, or wick and wax left. Oh. And it's really flaming up because I've set the Palo Santo right next to the wick. Let me try to blow this out, because this is gonna go crazy. There we go. See, I had to leave it right on the thing to get it to smoke. Let me see. And half that is candle smoke. It's not Palo Santo smoke, which is pissing me off. But Palo Santo is literally the bitchiest piece of wood to keep lit, especially when you're wanting to use it like to cleanse. I like my stuff to smoke. I don't like to just constantly have that crap in flame. Like, literally, I had to like set it on top of my freaking candle to get it to like really light so that it really smoke. I don't know, I'm going off topic here, but I really wanted to, like, this is what I like to do. I like to cup the smoke and put it over me. This was something when I was a little girl that I saw a priest do once. They cupped the smoke, like they were cupping air, cupping the element of air and swooshing it all over their head and shoulders. And ever since then, I've just loved the concept of cupping smoke, cupping the element of air. And yeah, that's candle smoke. It's not even Palo Santo smoke, so it doesn't have that really good woodsy smell. But it does give some, you know, nice effects. Whatever. I'm not here for the aesthetics. I want that shit to cleanse me right now. Because I'm a little pissed off at this book, okay? So, anyway, like I was saying, we're on the Queen of Wands here as an example. And literally, one of the first things is the design of the figure and the long hair. I hate to tell you this, but I do not believe that the long hair in this means a fucking thing. Okay? I'm sorry, whoever the hell wrote this. It says, the figure has the very long hair in common with the protagonist of Lust and the Star. Likewise, the far upwards enraptured, distant expression. Then it goes on down, okay, more symbols. It says the pine cone wand. Now, if you're familiar with the Thoth at all, the pine cone goes all the way back to the Fool card as being a symbol of the All-Father. Now, it does say it's a phallus symbol. I don't believe it's a phallic symbol. I believe that it's a symbol, like it goes on to say, is that it's an evergreen symbol. It's an immortality symbol as a symbol of like this immortal God, okay? So it says symbol of evergreen and self-regenerating life. So, you know, eternity, immortality, things like that. Or evidence of basic nature that is possibly unconscious or still unknown and withdrawn. I don't get that with this card. So anyway, I really liked this at the very, very, very beginning. When I first started buying Thoth books, my very first Thoth book was the Book of Thoth, okay? And then I got Lon Milo DuQuette, and then I really wanted some more works. And when I picked this up, I was like, oh, this condenses it all for me, you know? And I really believed some of the symbolism, and then I put it down and never really got it back out again. And now, looking at it, I'm like, I'm kind of pissed off. I'm like, you don't know? I'm not saying that they don't know, folks. I'm just saying that it feels like these are glorified, educated as they may be, they're guesses. So there's no real reference to the Book of Thoth in here, and they may have known like Crowley's works and tried to put some things in here that he wrote about in Libra 7-7 and things like that. So maybe, but anyway, the best part of this book is in the very front. It talks about the 10 most important meanings, and then it goes into each suit, okay? So it tells you like the 10 most important things of each suit. And I thought, let's dive into this a little bit and chat about it organically, because I don't know, I'm liking these organic Thoth videos where I'm talking about something, but I look like I'm talking about nothing. So I got the cards out, but it was kind of windy, so I had to like put them under some books and shit. Oh, can I please light some Palo Santo that doesn't smell like soy candles? It's just like, you gotta like hold the flame right into it. It's like, God. And look, tiny, you can't even tell, tiny smoke. But we love it so much, even though she a temperamental hoe. Alright. Let's get into this. Jesus. Alright. The 10 most important meanings of the wands. I mean, this deck is just so pretty. God. So let me fan these out like a courtesan here. Element of fire. Basic meaning is urges and actions. A concrete message is something must be done. Oh. Something must be done. Practical application. To move or to allow movement. Maybe. It's not so much movement to me, it's more like drive. Anyway, key term, the will. Okay. Like a courtesan, all right. Psychological function. Ooh, here we go. From Carl Gustav Jung to intuit. Intuition, momentary holistic comprehension, union of seeing and doing. The journey of the wands is catharsis, purgatory, phoenix from the ashes. That's actually a really, really cool thing to put on the wands is this, the journey of the wands. Like when we're looking at the ace and we go all the way through the wands, it's catharsis, purgatory, and then the phoenix from the ashes. So we've got the will and the drive, and then we've got this moment of catharsis, and then we're kind of like in the center of the wands. It does feel very much like purgatory, like you really don't, your drive is almost too much, or it's too little, or you really don't know which way to go. It's like the Chariot card, and then Phoenix from the ashes. So when you finally do get that spark, you're going, and you rise from the ashes. You rise from your dead corpse. The goal of the wands. I like this. It says to burn. Duh, right? The goal of the wands is to burn. Fire and flame are completely devoted to the true will and return lost energy. I like that. Associations. Symbol of the phallus. Okay, they're rods. Okay, so again, educated guess, but the suits in tarot are genderless people, okay? Just so you know. Witch's broom, that's more of I mean, I'm a witch, so there you go. Witch's broom. It's more of the broom that is like the stereotypical witch broom, not the besom, but you get on that bitch and you're going somewhere. Okay, that's the witch's broom they're talking about. Root. Also ancestors. Ooh, I've never associated the wand suit with ancestors. Sprout. So, like a tree sprout. Like a little sapling. So anyway. I do like that journey thing. So I'm curious to see what the other suits are. For what they say of the journey of the other suits. So let's get into the other suits. Alright. What's next? Cups. Let's do the courtesan again. You can't really, when I do this, you can't see a damn thing. I mean, you can get a glimpse, but whatever. So, water. Basic meaning is feelings, desires, and beliefs. Again, I never really thought to put beliefs on there, like your belief system. Concrete meaning, and this is like a quote, like I guess an affirmation. It depends on the inner attitude. Okay. Practical application. It allows flow, welcoming something or allowing welcoming from others. Alright. Key term is the soul. So we had the will in the wands. Now we have the soul. So this is the soul. So when I think of the cups, I think of like those emotions. Good or ill. And all your emotions and how they wreak havoc in the entirety that is the body, right? Let's see. Psychological function. Again, Jung. even though Jung never did a damn thing with tarot, so I don't know where they're getting this. Feeling. Oh, that's one word. One word for cups is feeling, from Carl Gustav Jung. And I think that what they're referring to, if I really had to make an educated guess, I'm going to be like them for a second, is that Carl Jung, he had elemental, literally he called them elemental associations. Things about the elements that he put things on that related to life and psychology and the psyche and all that. So I think that's where they're going. I think that for him, the elemental, not the element itself, but the elemental of water is feeling. Okay? I think that's where he's going with that. So, the journey. Here we go. The journey of the cups. So, we're looking at the whole journey, ace through whatever. Christening, spiritual death, and rebirth. Ooh. Christening. So, I guess in layman's terms, that for me that would probably mean getting acclimated on your spiritual path, like being spiritually naive, and then getting somehow christened into your, or initiated kind of thing into your spiritual path, and then experiencing some kind of spiritual death. In which card would we experience spiritual death? Because that's not even the last thing, because you can have rebirth, right? Which, I think about this card, the 10 of Cups, right? So, I guess that would be kind of interesting to meditate on, is the journeys that the Cups are going through in these words, with these specific keywords. So, christening, spiritual death, and rebirth. The goal of the Cups is to flow the water. The water provides the support to express feelings. The cup, or the bank, is the boundary that allows the river to flow. So they're like the bank of a river. The water provides the support to express feelings. So we have to think of, so I get the feeling of, like, this is talking about water in all of its realistic forms, like water in a cup, water that flows in a river that's contained by the riverbanks, an ocean which isn't contained a damn all. It's gonna, like, literally has a shoreline, but erosion didn't do that, like a riverbank would. So it's kind of like, in realistic form, how water would flow realistically, and how it's contained. So that's a good meditation thing to talk about too. The feminine, okay, these are associations. The feminine womb, the grail, goblets, the cup in the cupboard, bathtubs, swimming pools, showers, swimming pools, and movie stars. I had to. Old Jed's a millionaire. Now, I didn't do the motto for the Wansu, but the motto for the Cups is, the water is the source of all life. It's a very good motto. It's a very good, affirmation when you get, like, say if I get a reading with a lot of cups in it, that's probably a good affirmation. Well, I've got a lot of the source of my life right here in this reading. All right, let's move along. What's next? Swords. The element of air. The basic meaning is the weapons of the mind. Weapons of the mind. That is a powerful thing to put on the swords, because they are. Because air is the mental suit. Okay, everything that's happening in your brain, in your brain at all times, has ever happened, will ever happen, whatever. It encompasses all of that. The swords would make sense that the swords are the weapons there in tarot, because they're piercing certain aspects of your mental capabilities, right? So, and you have to figure out in which card what's doing, what is this card doing to your brain, and what's this card doing to your brain. And I think that could be a good thing, like, especially in tandem with the actual meanings of the cards. Like, especially like I'm talking specifically about the keywords, right? Like defeat. You can tie that in too as how it is a weapon. Concrete message, it needs to be addressed. These weapons are getting wielded and they are getting used against you, or you're using them yourself, okay? Because I think that that's a thing too. And you have to address it. So whatever's coming up, you got to be like, oh, okay, whatever the hell this weapon is, you're gonna be like, okay, that needs to be addressed. So that's pretty good. Practical application, it must be clear. So when I think of that, I think of like the cards in this particular suit that don't look clear, like this. It doesn't look clear. It looks all kinds of crazy, right? So you got to clear that out. Figure out what needs to be cleared to where you can get to a little bit more of a clear path, right? So key term is the mind. So we have the will, the soul, and the mind. Very nice, okay? Psychological function is thinking. So with fire, we had intuition. And then with cups, we had feeling. And now we have thinking. The journey of the swords is not a whole bunch of keywords. It's not a whole bunch of things. The journey of the swords is to learn from experience. That's really powerful to me because it's not like the other ones, like christening, spiritual death, and rebirth. You know, you've got like an actual cycle. With the swords, it's a little bit more complex, a little bit more convoluted, and you just have to know when one of these cards comes up, it's a weapon that's getting used that needs to get addressed, and then in that way, once it's addressed, it'll be cleared, and then you're learning from experience. It's like the actual learning is happening here, not so much a gradual ascent or descent. It's pretty powerful. The goal is to make difficulties easier. Learning from experience and doing it, you're going to do it the easy or the hard way, right? I'm not going to tell you the associations or the motto. And then last, we have the pentacles. Now, pentacles is earth, okay? But in this particular system, and in my research, the earth is an amalgamation of the other three elements. It's its own little melting pot. It's its own stirred fried rice. So the earth is the amalgamation of all the other suits. And that's especially true in this system, so I'm curious to see what they'll say about it. Let's see. There you go. Courtesan. The permanent movement, the energy of the earth, talents, as well as aptitude and tasks. Very nice. I like that. Concrete meanings. It comes down to the outcomes. So all this work that you're doing, okay, all this work, it's about the goal. It's about you setting something, you setting out to do something. It may not even be a goal. You set out to do something and you put the work towards that. That's what these are, right? It's about the tasks. It's about the tasks that we give ourselves, the goals we set for ourselves, and things like that. So it comes down to the outcomes, right? When we get certain cards, it's because we need to look at where we're at and the goals that we're setting and what we're doing to get there and things like that, and the actual practical work that you have to do to accomplish certain things. So I like that. Practical is to accept important outcomes or to reject them and produce new ones. That's important stuff. Key term is the body. So the wands were the will, and then we have the soul, and then we have the mind, and now we have the body. So mind, body, soul, and the will. You have to have all four, okay? Feelings is this. Sensory feelings. So, like your five senses. I think what they're going here is that both the pentacles and the cups are the receptive of the suits, and the sword and the wands are the more active I think that's where they're going with this. But if the feeling, I guess, in an emotional, whatever you're feeling, okay, whatever your emotional states are, is the cups. And then your sensory stuff, like what you can see and taste and touch and things, that's what they're going with this, the pentacles. I guess in psychology that would make sense. The journey. See, this is going to be like my favorite section, is the journey of the suit. The proliferation of talents and their harvest. So again, this is on the work you're putting forth. Are you doing all that you can do? Are you being all that you can be? And then by you doing those things, is it getting you what you want? Are you accomplishing your goals by doing any of that? The goal is prosperity and well-being. So you're doing all of this work for something. Otherwise, don't do the work, okay? If it's not going to get you anywhere, what the hell's the point? Now, this association, I haven't read all of them in all the other sections, but it says, or suits, it says coins, the two sides of a medallion, the influences that we have experienced for ourselves and that we induce, the paths that we discover and those paths that we leave behind. There's the pentacles. So, overview. We're going to go with like an overview of each suit according to this book, right? I haven't shown you the book because it just looks like this, okay? And I'm just like reading off of it and chatting with you guys. So, the pentacles is sensory. Using your five senses and to do the work. To do all the work. This could be spiritual work, this could be everyday work, this is mundane, and this is everything. This is an amalgamation of it all, right? So you do all that to do the work, figure out where you are in that work in relation to your goals. So you're always kind of looking to the future in the pentacles. And then the swords is all about the mind. Where's the mind at? What needs to get cleared, right? What are you confuzzled about? If you are, okay? And then the cups, right, is all on your emotional state. So it does say feelings, desires, and beliefs. So you could look at this in not so much practical emotions, but also spiritual emotions, like getting into ruts and going a long time without actually practicing, stuff like that. So that could be something interesting to wade through. And then you have the wand suit, which is about urges, and it's about the will, it's about your drive, right? So, do something. So, I think in tandem with the wands and the pentacles is about the work being done, but then the wands is, you have to have that drive before you can actually do anything. So, that's where they kind of differ. So, anyway, I hope this organic chat was fun. Listen, I want to keep doing Thoth Thursdays, so if you have any ideas or questions, hit me up. If you can't reach me on this email, because I swear to God, my Gmail has been acting funny lately, hit me up on Instagram. Just DM me, you know. Hopefully I can continue these Thoth Thursdays, but I need some ideas. I could keep going off of my own thing here of what I want to search for, but I want to answer some questions. I want you guys to not feel intimidated to ask me things, so we continue to talk about this beautiful deck. Much love, people.